I got a new sound. I ain't never had a car, a Toyota at least do this. I got my suspicions, but it sounds like a blown head gasket. But the thing is, it's in and out. I don't know if it's in and out with the compression. You'll be able to hear because of the fuel system probably emitting fuel, and it's building up compression in certain spots. That's my theory. I have done a vacuum test on this. I'll show you what happens when I do a vacuum test. It's actually putting pressure back in the system. So I'm pretty sure, or I have my suspicions, that the intake valves are compromised. But yeah, let's hear it. All right, I'm gonna hold the camera up close to it. Get it to start up. Coming in, then it comes back out, comes back in, comes back out. So that's strange. So how I want to tackle this, I know it's something compression related, but hell. All right, I'm plugged into a reliable vacuum source. Let me show you what it's doing. It's not making a lot of vacuum. It's starting to jump up. See, there's pressure. Yeah, that's a strange thing. I've had head gaskets that blow between the cylinders, do some strange stuff, but never come in and out like that. Normally it'll run, but cylinders will get each other's compression. I did a video on one of those before. I wonder if the cams are broke. I want the timing's right, but at the same time, if the timing isn't right, it's still a little too late to really be doing any type of timing work because the valves are bent. So what I could do to at least eliminate half of what's going on, do a compression test in the front banks here. What that would do is it'll alleviate me having to hook up the scope, doing a lot of irrelevant stuff, because I don't have a amp clamp to do a relative compression test for the back banks, but I can narrow it down 50% by doing the front. And I think, I have my suspicions about those anyway, if it's really necessary or not. Let's do a compression test on the front banks, and at least it'll narrow it down by 50%. So let's see what the front bank's doing. All right, removing the spark plugs. Uh-oh. I don't have the autofocus on. This one looks pretty clean. All right, let's hook the compression gauges. So the front bank is going to be the even bank. Oh, look at that! Wow, see, that's strange. It came in. It's crazy. Let's think this popped up pretty a lot better. Let me use two hands. Got it sitting good now. Let's try it. Wow, that's crazy. So when it comes in, it started making normal compression. And I took all the front bank spark plugs out, so it can't be getting each other compression. That is crazy. Huh. Could it be I mean, there's no grind. I'm thinking like a broke cam, but there's no grind in there. Could there be like a bank deactivation, like a issue with the oil control valve? Oh, well, I know. Well, she stated the issues with the car was it stalled while she was driving. But how can the oil control valve be causing this compression problem? I've heard it happen before, never personally experienced it. Let me do a little thinking. All right, I forgot one of the most basic steps. I didn't scan the car first, so yeah, pretty bright. Let's see what the car says is the problem, which it probably might have some misfires and stuff now because I pulled the coils. So I'm going to ignore the misfires and see what else is related to possibly creating this in and out compression. This Toyota generally takes so long with the all tail, so let me load this up and see what codes come up. All right, code should be coming up shortly. Yep, see, this is, I was afraid of that. Being that I pulled the coils out, what we got. Huh. All right. Well, let's go back to the drawing board because I do remember like some cars that sit for a long time. They have a low compression state. They'll sound like that, and all you do is a flood clear, and it'll clear up, and you can start the car up. Like I've had it happen when I used to work at AAA at the airport. People are like, my car drove fine, and you know, it just wouldn't start up. You can hear it has that same sound, but just no compression. Do a flood clear, bam, clear it up. All right, let's see what else is related. Okay, so I am hooked up to the Bank 2 cam sensor, and it's a VR sensor. What I'm going to do is just get a cam signal here, and I got it on a 5-volt AC scale, and I'm just going to listen to it and see if the cam is doing a consistent rotation. I'm going to do a long one. Let's see what happens. So it's this out of memory. So took the time belt off, not time belt, but the timing cover off, and the first thing I noticed is this time belt been rubbing up against something. So the odds are pretty high for it to have potentially jump timing. I'm going to manually rotate the engine and see what comes up. If there's any type of stuck pulley, water pump probably seized up. Normally the belt would break, but I'm gonna see if there's any type of rotation. Got the number 1 cylinder up. This cam here seems to be in time. You can see that mark right there, indentation. I'll say indentation. The indentation there described in the cam, and there's a time mark there that's lined up. The back one seems to be lined up, but if you look down here at the bottom, that white mark, like it's advanced a little bit. There's a 0 mark down there. Now it could be something wrong with the probably a keyway. Could be. But I'm pretty sure it probably isn't. I'm pretty sure the timing belt probably jumped for some strange reason. Whatever's pressed up against there, I wouldn't know anything until I pull it all the way down. Something was rubbing up against something, causing this. Uh-oh. Oh, So the plan is to take it down. If I take it down, I have to do a time belt and a water pump. Reinstall everything. These are fairly moderate. Nothing special. It's strange that this happened. But I'm just hoping that it didn't bend any valves. But I could take the original belt that's on here and set it right, and then see if it starts up before I make any purchases, since it's not gone out completely. Probably take that route. No point in buying anything, especially when it's not going to work. Alright, found the problem. Let me see if I can get the focus. So the timing belt began to so I'm in a tight spot here. See that a little bit? Hold on. Hold up. So you see the time belt there, wrapped around there in some way. Not sure how it did that. But that's what we got. I haven't moved anything except for trying to rotate the motor. Maybe we're gonna find out if these valves bent or not. That light will work. Sorry about that. Golly. Alright, that's better. So we're gonna see this magnetic light on. Oh gosh, yeah, still. Probably should put the light on top there. So that's what we got. I'm gonna try to redo the timing. I'm gonna have to get a new belt, obviously. Take the belt off and inspect it. See what caused it to get like that, or if there's any missing teeth. But that answers everything. Hoping that there's nothing, no bent valves, but we'll find out.
YouTube Music. Check out the best moments from Coachella.
Got the timing belt put on the old one. I got everything just lined up with that and put on. So here's the moment of truth. It starts up, and oh shucks, if it starts up and don't miss, we're in good shape. If it start up and miss, we'll need a motor. So find out what happens. Oh wow. Missing a little bit, see if it'll clear up. Might clear up. Not clearing up. I don't know if it's gonna clear up. I gotta. I mean, unless I damage the spark plug when I pull it out and put it back in there. Let me check the spark plug right quick. I think I found my problem. When I was checking for the misfires, I pulled the injector off, so I popped that back in, Fingers crossed. I pulled the plug out and it smelled dry. Oh, whoa. Running like a sewing machine. All right, that's all I need to hear. All right, so yeah, sometimes you gotta check over your mistakes. Cool. All right, this is great. So take this old belt off, get a new water pump, timing belt, component set, all new pulleys and all that fancy stuff, and get everything back installed, and it should be good to go. Where's that old belt? So this was wrapped around the crank gear. So yeah, I don't know how in the world the belt started doing that, but we're getting all new stuff now, so we ain't gotta worry about that anymore. I'm not glad it happened, but it was going to be needed anyway. If you look down there, there's remnants of coolant. The water pump has been leaking, so it's going to need it sooner or later, and what better time than now? It's fortunate. So no valves are broke, despite the timing belt jumping, and get this installed, man, and get it back running. As far as throwing parts at it, we threw nothing at it, which is great. We didn't guess. Check the cam to see if there was any type of movement, which it was. I mean, it was an abnormal sound, never heard it before. Sound like a flooded engine in some cases that a flooded clear would have resolved, but that wasn't the case. Sound like it wanted to start. We had fuel, we had fire. The only thing it really was to do was a timing inspection, in which it was obvious now that there was a issue with the belt. So get a new belt on here, and off to the next project. Peace and hair grease. All right, today is the next day. I got the car repaired. I just used the day previously to diagnose the car, figure out what's wrong with it, and today I just designated this day to repair this. I did a timing belt previously yesterday. I'm just getting the air out of the system right now. But other than that, the timing belt job went smooth. My question is, like, is this an interference motor? I would say no and yes, sort of. But I'm going to more likely say no, only because of its factory. Have its factory clearances, tolerances with the head. I'm going to put this cap on here now. Hold on. Get all the air out. Starting to expand now. But what could happen? I mean, if the head was shaved, I can understand the head being, you know, closer to the valves. But I mean, I would still say more likely no. I think it's a 70% chance that the odds are likely you won't damage the valves. You break a time belt or have some time belt issues. There's a lot of check engine lights on because of let me pull this, actually this circuit. That's in the history. More likely because of what's going on. I shouldn't have any crank sensor codes because there were marks on the timing belt, and they lined up perfectly fine. Sorry, had to erase all them codes in there. That was before when I was diagnosing all that other stuff. But I'm going to take it for a test drive. I don't think this engine likely is going to be an interference motor, only because the lady was literally driving the car. It stalled on her. I mean, I started it up when I got it here to figure out what was going on with it. No bent valves or anything, even though the damage would have already been done while driving. Other than that, it's fixed. There was a strange diagnosis, and I never heard anything. The compression kind of come in and out like that, which was very odd, and I learned something new. Hopefully I can pass it on. Wound up being the timings jump, and it seemed like it was let me see, it crank was advanced like 2 teeth, it seems as though. But other than that, it's fixed now. Your time belt breaks on here, odds are very high you can repair it and not have any issues. Other than that, I'm done. Peace and hair grease.